This time, it will be different. This time, maybe the only way he can die is if I die too.
Halloween ends.
Well, that was a quick in there.
What
I didn't. No, the TV spot that I picked ended very abruptly. I didn't realize that. You know what's funny? I'm looking at a poster here. It says Halloween ends October 15th, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Oh yeah, because it bummed because of COVID and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an old poster, but I liked it the most because it looks like the original poster from '78.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is Moviesucktastic, podcast for movie reviews, and I'm kind of questioning why we do this tonight.
Just tonight?
Tonight, yeah, tonight. Just because of the movie we're reviewing tonight, which is Halloween Ends, the 2020. We're calling it 2022, right? 2022 film.
It's 2022.
Yeah,
that's its official.
Yeah. So we're reviewing Halloween Ends, and I remember last episode at the end, Joey said, "Hey, I forget if he did it on the show or not, but he said, I'm seeing a lot of really." No, he said, no.
No, it was privately.
It was privately. He said he messaged me and says, I'm seeing some really wacky negative reviews of Halloween Ends. And I didn't think it was that bad. You got to watch it. We have to review it this week. So I jumped on it after burning through half of Jeepers Creepers quadrilogy because I thought we were doing that because I didn't pay attention.
No, that was the original plan.
Yeah.
That was the original plan, and it is what I agreed to. And I did watch I'd say about 3/4 of Jeepers Creepers 3, and I hadn't gotten into Reborn yet, but Mare wanted to watch Halloween Ends, so I said, all right, let's do that. And I just figured I'd watch that, throw that away and just be like, okay, gotta watch Jeepers Creepers now. And I'm watching Halloween Ends, and I'm like, why is everyone complaining about this movie? It's like I actually enjoyed what they did in it, like the little
don't get into the film yet. Don't get into the actual film yet. I want to go through that.
Okay.
We're not going to take a lot of time, but I do want to go through it. But I'm with you on that because after you said that, I've been unplugged from like movie reviews and stuff outside of my own.
Right.
I've got other things going on at the moment, so I'm not really paying attention to the reviews of films I just catch the films as they fly at me. So I wasn't aware of this negative lashing out at Halloween Ends. So after I watched the film, I went on IMDb and just scrolled down the reviews, and holy fucking shit, people are angry.
Very.
and
I really don't understand why. It's like, how you can read some of the reviews and be like, okay, I can see that point of view. Sure, okay, I really don't know what they're complaining about.
But it's like it makes me reevaluate myself. That's what I mean, is because I'm reading some of these and I'm going through all of these, and I start thinking, do I sound this much of an asshole when I'm complaining about Van Helsing? I mean, I have really specific complaints, but now the vast majority of these reviews really just put a lot of snarky social media verbiage in there and throw out just general insults saying, oh, the acting's bad, the writing's writing's bad, acting's bad, and then fold insults into any of that you can, without getting really too specific. Some of them bring up some points of the film, but a lot of them are just like, oh, a 5-year-old could write this film better. So yeah.
And you know what? I don't agree with either of those things. I don't think the acting was bad, and I don't think the writing was bad.
No. Now, I wasn't going to I don't want to read reviews off of IMDb, and I wasn't going to quote any of them, but just to give you an idea of some of the people out there, I'm going to read the first sentence of this review.
Okay.
You ready?
We're ready.
The first sentence. I'm going to read until I hit a period.
We're ready.
I'm ready. I am really disconcerted and demoralized. I went to the very excited theater for the grand finale of one of my favorite sagas, and especially after two films like Halloween 218 and Kills that I love with all my heart, and instead I found myself in front of a film that destroys and makes itself mockery of one of the most important icons of the horror genre. I don't know what Green had in mind. I can't believe he made such a mess. A hideous script full of holes, things that don't make sense, things that betray everything that was said and done in the previous two films. Also on a conceptual level, especially the bad ending completely overturns what Laurie said in the Kills ending. Did Green forget what he had done just a year ago?
Wow. Zero punctuation.
Yeah.
Zero grammar.
Well, there are a lot of commas, but I
Whoa, wait a minute. Wait. There are commas in that?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
they're
yeah,
obviously
like
they're used incorrectly everywhere.
Yes and no, partially. I mean,
okay.
Commas are pretty, there's a lot of leeway with commas. I'm not criticizing comma structure unless it's, like, stupid.
I'll criticize comma structure.
He just keeps forgetting to stop the sentence. Yeah. Anyway, so these are people I'm not really looking to for intelligent feedback on.
No.
But as fans, I mean, I never.
So obviously that person is strictly referring to the ending, because if it didn't end that way, they probably wouldn't have complained as much.
All right. Well, so there's some main complaint. Let's go through the film. Because I just briefly, I mean, as we go, we can point out what we liked and stuff, but we'll also bring up the main complaints. I don't want to bring up the complaints until we actually hit them in the film. Just want to walk by the basic storyline. We're not going scene for scene, but the opening.
The opening. Holy shit.
Ah.
Let me tell you something. I very rarely go, oh. I very rarely do that in movies these days. But when it happened, I was like, woo! It was one of those.
I was yelled at a couple times for yelling too loudly on a couple of jumps because I was enjoying it. I was into it.
Well, let me tell you something.
I'm not an amateur. I know when jump scares are coming, but I thought the film managed to do a couple of twists that didn't seem cheesy.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, it opens with a babysitter. This kid. What's his? I had the screen up, but. Corey. Who's kind of loosely based on or loosely based on the kid Arnie from Christine. I took a real long time with that sentence. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
yeah.
So, remember when I said before I'm going to blow your mind?
Okay, spoilers going forward anyway. Yeah, but blow my mind.
But I didn't know that he was loosely based on that, but I saw Arnie everywhere in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I have a scenario or a comparison that proves it. Okay?
Which is?
So
does it happen later in the film or?
No, it happens throughout the movie. It's really his arc, his change of character. So for instance, the movie opens up when I first see his character. I remember the one guy that dies in the first film. He has the same, like, Coke bottle glasses, looks the same, and he's the one that Michael Myers kills with the butcher knife against the wall. Okay?
Right.
In the kitchen. He looks just like that guy. So when I saw him, I'm like, oh, this is obviously, an ode to... And I went into this movie blind. I had no idea this kid was a main character. At all.
Now, to say something, I saw a lot of reviews that claimed that the filmmakers lied to the audiences by not showing that he was a main character in the trailers. The trailers never showed him.
Good.
So, like, who the fuck's this guy? And so I was thinking. So, and my only thought is, like, did you think the whole film was just going to be like Laurie and him walking back and forth? Or like, what? Well, they're going to have to put new characters. They put new characters in the second one. No one bitched.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They put new. It's like they introduce one or two new characters. A few new characters, and everybody's like flipping out. It's like, oh, and these people have never been here before. And it's like they killed everybody else. There's nobody fucking left.
It's called story structure.
But,
so all right. So what happens with him? Body shouldn't bounce like that, by the way. But apparently they do.
What, that they bounce?
Well, I always knew they bounce, but when I saw it, I'm like, ooh, ah.
How many times did you rewind that?
I did not rewind it because I was with Mare, or else I would have.
Oh, I rewound twice. Twice. Oh,
So you watched that a total of 3 times.
Yes. Man. So, like, that's a great, so you're not really sure what's happening. It's a year after Michael Myers disappeared at the end of the second film.
Right.
After killing everybody.
Everyone.
So then you flash forward, and then like Laurie Strode gives a voiceover kind of summation of what's going on and what's happened since the last film.
Right.
And they this film is the ending of the trilogy, so they kind of harken back to give us a recap of the first film and the original that it was remade from too.
Yes.
Or that it was because that's a direct sequel. It's a trilogy, but it's a direct sequel to the original film. That's weird calling it a trilogy because it's actually a quadrilogy now, at least in this section. But so she explains all this, and the first thing that Holly and I cried foul on is when she said, okay, so I settled down in Haddonfield. I say, wait, you fucking stayed in town?
Yeah.
What? It's like, all right, story flaw number 1. But it's a horror film. You have to suspend disbelief, and I'm all right, okay.
So
and
all
she
right.
Still has. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, I wasn't done with my comparison.
I apologize.
No, it's quite all right. Listen, this is what we do. The bounce back is what makes us special. All right, so he goes through that traumatic experience, right? Mm-hmm. And he's very frail, emotionally and psychologically, much like Arnie is in Christine.
Right, and he killed a child, and he's still living in town.
Right.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Am I the only person that like isn't like clinging to a hometown? Like, this is insane. Yeah. Fucking leave. Especially since the whole town is against this fucking kid. It's like yeah, and never mind. Go on.
So anyway, so he's much like Arnie. He's got all that going on, right?
Yep.
So you notice that he's got the glasses. He's fragile, emotionally, psychologically, all that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to work where he works on cars. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Christine thing there. Yeah.
Arnie's thing was always the car. All right. That's one.
Yeah.
Hold on. Going somewhere new. His boss gives him a motorcycle. In Christine, Arnie gets a car. Okay?
Yeah.
Ever since he got the motorcycle and he meets evil.
Yeah.
Car, evil, motorcycle, meets evil. He starts this change. Loses the glasses. Arnie loses the glasses.
Yeah.
And then it's a downward spiral from that point on where Arnie and Christine is just going to like a darker place. He's just socially distanced. He's, meets a pretty girl. This kid, exact same thing. What? What'd you say?
Nothing.
Well, what did you say?
I said so unprofessional.
Oh, yes. So like the comparisons are very stark between Christine and of course Christine is a John Carpenter film.
Yeah.
So
and and there's a lot of that in these films too, because it's not just about the movies, it's about Carpenter. That's why we skipped all the other shit after the first one.
Right.
And there's also at the beginning during that before they kill the kid. I said spoilers, right?
Yes. Did you read somewhere that he was loosely based on Arnie, or did you just kind of? I read it. I did read it. I did not think of it. You thought of it. I read it somewhere. Okay, because I'm just this is Arnie from Christine. I mean, it's like all over the place.
We mentioned Christine when they showed him when he showed up at the garage. It was like, oh yeah, Christine, here we go. But we didn't really think. I didn't really make that connection with the character that deeply that you did.
I completely did.
So you definitely caught that. I did not catch that.
I mean, I love the film Christine. I love the book. I'm a very big. I'm
grew up with it.
Yeah, I'm a very big defender of the film because I've got some family members that have complained to me personally that they hate the movie.
Let's not bring family into this.
Well, I'm just saying it's
Well,
an open argument. It's not anything that's gone crazy. But their argument is the book is better. The car talks in the book. In the movie, the car doesn't talk, and that's why the movie sucks. And I explain to them. I go, just because it works on paper doesn't mean it works on film. If that car talked in the movie, it would be ridiculous. It would be silly.
Name a movie with a talking car that's good.
It would be animated.
No.
Oh, that's
action.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Name me one good movie that has a talking car in it. I'm not saying there isn't one. I just can't think of one.
I can't think of one either.
That's how uncommon they are.
So, yeah, on paper, sure, it works in a book because you're reading it. Visually, you can picture all that. On film, you don't need it.
Right. So,
right.
so
go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's cool. Just pulling us back on track. So, I did the same thing. So, back in the film, so Laurie's living in town with her granddaughter.
Yep.
Because Michael killed her daughter, and
you don't really find that out until this movie, because in this that her daughter dies.
Yeah, you do.
Well,
he stabs her to death at the end of the film.
But
that's the last scene of the film. Michael stabs her to death in the attic.
He only stabs her like once or twice.
He stabs the fuck out of her. She's dead. There's no confusion.
I don't remember it. I don't remember it being like I don't remember it being.
You think it was a light stabbing?
I don't remember it being so apparent.
That she was dead?
No, that she was stabbed that many times. I remember her being stabbed once or twice. Hold on. You see the body fall, then they move quickly out of that scene. Almost like if they wanted to bring her back, they could have.
All right, I did not.
They chose not to.
I did not rewatch the first two films before we reviewed this. I wish I had now because I'm telling you, it was so obvious at the end of that. There was no doubt that she was dead at the end of the film. That's why I was saying the third film was going to be her chasing down Michael Myers in vengeance. I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong. I'll explain that. Okay. But yeah, so she's living with the granddaughter in Haddonfield, and they cross paths with Corey, and they all know each other because the whole town hates them all. And and this is the other one when people criticize it, Holly and I were calling bullshit too. Where the minute she sees this kid, she's just ready to leap, just fucking rip off her clothing. She is ready to ride his face the minute she sees him. And she's like, practically presenting.
Well, Lori got that started, and she was just like, "Why'd you do that?" And then she was like, "You know what? I like it."
Well, Lori brought her there, yeah, but then she's like, and then just blatantly hitting on him, just horribly. And Holly and I are both. There's so, what the hell is this? Really? Is she that damaged? Come on.
Both her parents were murdered. Yes, she's pretty damaged.
Yeah, but I mean.
She's chased by a serial killer through 2 movies. She's pretty fucking damaged. Her
family was slaughtered by a serial killer, so she goes for the creepy loner?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yeah, so that's another part where the film where I can understand people not liking that.
And you know what? I disagree with that too, because me personally, I've seen some pretty crazy matchups. Nothing is fucking impossible.
I'm okay with it. I'm just saying there are some things the film does that are a bit heavy-handed because it's leading us to somewhere on purpose, and it really wants to get us there.
Well, the commercial, the commercial grinder that they show like 3 times in 5 minutes, and I'm like,
the first time they showed it, I turned to Holly and said, "Jason, Michael's going into that." Well, I think that's one of the few predictions I got 100% right out of the gate. The minute I saw it, I said, "Michael's going in," and I don't think it was a hard call.
No, well, I told Mare, I lean over to her, I go, "Yeah, A, Michael Myers is going in that. B, he might not be the only one, but he's definitely going in that." I go because after the first time I do that to her, and I go, "This is the 3rd time they've shown it, but it's not like they've shown it in operation." Like actually crushing things. I'm like, this fucking thing is being utilized in a major way in the movie.
Well, and
And I was okay with it. I was okay with guessing that. I mean, here's the thing. I would think maybe your average moviegoer might not have guessed that.
Your passive viewer isn't gonna think to themselves, "Gee, it's the second time they've shown that knife." They're just like watching the film. So it's people like us who are a bit more into reading it. Not that we're smarter. We're just
we've seen a lot of fucking movies.
And like we read about films, and it's just it's not a snobbish thing. We're talking about a fucking horror film here. Come on.
I mean, I was having Superman 3 vibes. I was like, I hope it's something cool.
With that grinder, after I predicted that Michael would go in it, I got nervous when he lured the 4 kids there, and I was like, oh shit, don't fucking cock tease me on this. But I was like, oh good, no, that's right.
Well, when that did happen, I'm like, because I told Mare, I go, he's definitely going in it. I go, other people might too, and I just lean over to Mare. I go, these might be some kills in the grinder before Myers. So, but I go, don't worry.
If they did. But
they're just getting it warmed. They're just getting it warmed up.
I have an argument against that, but it involves plot and structure, and it's boring, so I'm gonna ignore it.
Okay.
Yeah. So she falls for the Corey kid. The whole town hates the Corey kid. They fuck with teenagers. She dates him. He bumps into the mother of the kid he killed at a bar. Awkward. And all this culminates for Corey when he's confronted by the kids.
The father, by the way. What? The father, by the way, taking it much better.
He's got coping skills, but he's been dealing with that wife. So I think they kind of in the opening you kind of realize that he's dealing with her. So I think he was already coping to begin with.
Yeah.
But backtrack. That. You made me lose my train of thought. So the 4 punk kids attack him and throw him off a bridge, and apparently Michael Myers has been hiding out in the sewers, like the Rob Zombie sequel. I think I'm right about that. And that's when shit gets weird.
3 from Hell. No, not 3 from Hell. House of a Thousand Corpses.
No, I'm talking about his 2 Halloween films.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other trilogy he did.
Why would I jump trilogies without naming it?
I don't know.
I would not do that to you, sir.
Thank you.
Honestly.
Sewers.
So when Corey bumps into him in the sewers, that's when weird shit happens. That's when all bets were off. And I said, okay, there's 4 different scenarios I can think of that this is about, and 2 of them suck balls.
Yeah.
So let's hope we're not. Because the first thing I thought was, oh no, we're doing a Jason Goes to Hell
possession thing. Yeah, I thought that too. Yeah.
And I said, if that happens, this movie's is fucking done. Then there was, okay, he's passing the evil force into him, which is too much like the first. That's a shit idea too.
Right.
But what actually it is, and which was one of my, I forget what the 4th one was, or something really, really bad. But the one that it was the best possible scenario, where it's like Michael is like so much like he has this evil. It's borderline supernatural, and you have to, because he survived so much fucking bullshit in the second one. There's no way you can't think he's supernatural at this point. So you gotta give it that.
Of course.
And so when you have those flash images, did you go through those frame by frame?
I didn't. Again, I watched it with Mare. What was it? Please, because I wanted to do it, but I knew Mare would lose patience with me, so I didn't. That much.
It was still frames of Michael Myers' face up close, intercut with shots of the kid falling, the kid rising up, the mother screaming.
Oh, I did see those without freeze framing that.
Yeah, and there's one quick one that I don't think you noticed without the freeze framing, is the door from the attic opens and the kid's standing there and he's just looking up at him, like up at you. It's like a POV shot. So it didn't happen in the films, but it's creepy.
Oh.
It's like he's being judged by the dead kid.
Okay.
That was the only partner the rest of it was just the kid and the mother and stuff.
Got it.
Yes, but
Myers obviously saw that in the kid, and that's why he didn't kill him.
He sensed the evil in the kid, or he sensed that he had taken a life, that he was evil, and because of that, he let him go.
Yeah.
So I mean, because that probably doesn't happen often to Michael. I'll someone that's like that. I think most people he's killed aren't like killers themselves. They're usually innocent people. That's the whole point.
Yes.
But anyway, that's my reading of that, and I haven't read anybody else's takes on that, and I think that is what the film intends, and I think it's the most rational explanation.
I agree. I completely agree.
Okay. Cool.
And I did, like I said earlier, I did get that Jason Goes to Hell vibe. I'm like, oh no. I was like, no.
So I saw, and now one of the other major complaints, all these people said, oh, and there's this whole romance, the whole film is like part teen romance. It's like, and I understand to an extent, but I mean, there's romances in all of these films, all the Halloween films.
Yeah.
Usually, right? Am I right?
There's something, sure.
Yeah. I mean, usually since half the kids are fucking banging,
yeah.
and there's always like a boyfriend girlfriend thing going. I mean, yeah, that's not new. In slasher films were actually built around like love stories and relations. I mean, sex too. But
like
I mean,
Jason's whole thing is he won't kill you unless you're having premarital sex.
Well, that's the
that's his mother thing.
It's not canon, but that's the implication.
Yeah.
You can if you get the book Butcher Knives and Body Counts, I have something in there on. No, was that in Butcher Knives? No, Butcher Knives. Butcher Knives was my article on Silent Night, Deadly Night. Ignore that.
Got it.
Anyway,
he's evil. Evil.
He's evil. Right. Evil, yeah. So then Corey starts doing this creepy natural born killers thing with the granddaughter.
Yep.
And Lori Lori's writing a book about her experience too. And so then Corey starts teaming up with Michael and doing kills together. It's kind of Dexter-ish.
Well, yeah, at one point he's like, "Show me how to do it."
Right.
So and at one point You think it's like a passing of the torch type scenario. It's like, are we going to have a new Michael Myers because Michael Myers is getting so old?
But not even Michael Myers anymore, because when they introduce when she gets Corey that scarecrow mask and he starts wearing that around, it was like, oh shit! So now we have a new Halloween mask. We have a new Halloween mask killer. I'm getting excited. So they have a new trilogy planned. This would be cool. I mean, I didn't realize how much people hated the character at this point. I was like, wow. I was just interested in the idea that they were doing something different. God fucking forbid.
Right.
Right. And I mean, did people expect Michael to get up at the end of the film? It's called Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it even says, the tagline says, "This Halloween, evil dies." It says it right in the poster. I don't know what they were expecting.
So, but yeah.
Here's the thing. They could. So here, this is my take on it, and I'll do it very quickly. Jamie Lee Curtis is getting fucking old. Okay? That character...
Michael Myers.
Hold on. Laurie is getting old.
Yes.
Jamie Lee Curtis is getting old. This trilogy ends, okay, with Michael Myers dying at the end. Now, with that said, that doesn't mean they can't completely reboot this whole series with a brand new Laurie that is not Jamie Lee Curtis and a Michael Myers again and start a whole new sling of films, and it's still Michael Myers, it's still Laurie, and it's just rebooted with younger actors, and they can keep the timeline. It's just they're gonna do that. There's no way. This movie had a $40 million opening weekend, and it was streaming and theater at the same time, and it still had a $40 million opening weekend. The movie made money, so they're not.
I saw these reviews saying, "Oh, it box office failures." You're obviously just going off what you're not even looking at numbers. You're just thinking.
I mean, I think the budget was $33 million. It's made $85 million so far. It's way in the green.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing: they could totally reboot this with younger actors, different people, and then it's just this part is It ends because Jamie Lee Curtis isn't doing this character anymore. That's it.
Right. And the guy from Blumhouse, when asked what was going to happen after this trilogy end, he said, after this, the rights revert back to the son of the original guy. I can't, and I can never pronounce his name, Akkad, or you know what I'm talking about, the copyright holder. And when they asked him,
Malik, Akkad.
Right. And when they asked him what he plans to do, he quoted Donald Pleasance, who asked how many films of these he would go in. Donald Pleasance responded, "I'll stop at 22." So, yeah, it's a hot franchise. It made money. They'll do something different. They'll give it to a different director. So they'll do another Rob Zombie thing, but they'll pick an actual real director. And that's mean. I shouldn't say that. But,
his first Halloween was a good effort. I wouldn't say it's a good movie. I wouldn't say it's bad either. I would say it's somewhere, if I was doing an IMDb rating, somewhere around 5 to 6. That second film is a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah, I get it. I don't want to get into it. All I'm going to say is I keep hearing people complain about the first film because the vulgar language at the beginning, and I'm like, if you're watching a horror film and the language is turning you off, I can't talk to you about this.
No, come on.
Anyway.
Akkad. We were talking about Malik Akkad going back 22 films.
Yeah. You were going on this whole rant about how they could still make more, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, and they're gonna do that. So
this trilogy ignored like the previous 9 films.
Yeah.
So you can do that. The Halloween series is probably one of the most convoluted because there's like 3 or 4 or 5. It's almost as bad as Texas Chainsaw, where there's different timelines depending on which films you ignore. It's just complete. I mean, give Jason and Freddy credit. At least they were able to keep a fucking constant. Yeah. But man, these two jump around so much. So things get out of hand, and then there's the whole thing with Laurie Strode. I don't want to ruin the third act for anybody. And there's a love interest too between Laurie and
the chief.
The chief.
Yeah, what is his name? William Patton.
Mm-hmm. And again, the kills that happen. The thing I found interesting about this tour I'm watching is they find with Corey. He takes a different pattern than Michael. Instead of killing randomly, Corey actually seeks out people who have wronged him and his girl.
Right. My favorite kill is the radio DJ. That's my favorite.
Well, that was a good one. That was a good one.
I mean, the kid is an accident. So I don't know if I can even put that on the list because it's an accident. But him going...
He did kill him.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Aggravated manslaughter. The father said it.
But that radio DJ, it
had some good kills in it. Now people were complaining about the body counts. Oh, there was a low body count. So do you know how many people died in the first one, the 78 one? Was it 78?
78, what, 3?
Yeah, I was like,
maybe
what
4.
Are you talking about? Halloween Kills had like a fucking astronomical, because he's like ate through the town. This is a different story.
Well, and obviously it's in the title of the movie, Halloween Kills. So, if you didn't expect a high body count with a title like that, then I don't know what you were expecting.
Yeah, so, and also, I find it hilarious. So many of these reviews start with, this is an insult to Michael Myers. This is an injustice. These are words that have been used repeatedly in these reviews. I'm not pulling shit out of my ass. These are actual fucking comments. It is an insult. It is a travesty it is an injustice to Michael Myers.
Anybody bring up Halloween 3 in any of these reviews?
One person said it was worse than 3, and they hate that the most. So that invalidates your thing.
Of course it does. Halloween 3 is awesome.
But I'm like, all these people like, it's a travesty. It's an injustice to Michael Myers. Like, dude, this is a shitty horror film series about a fucking serial killer. Dial it back and think about what you're saying. I mean, and I posted this on our Facebook group too. If you're on Facebook, Moviesucktastic, I said if you're one of these people, and I've seen so many of these comments saying this is the worst film of the franchise, if you are saying
what?
Halloween Ends is the worst film of the franchise, you have to tell me, other than the original '78 film, which one is the best one.
Ugh.
You know?
No, that's no.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? Halloween 2? Halloween 4? Fucking the one with the fucking satanic cult? I mean, which one are you going for?
Let's go with number 7.
Even the original is flawed because it is a low budget fucking horror film. It was a grindhouse film. It's flawed, and people love it for the flaws. That's why we love. Star Wars, it has all those wacky flaws that fans love. We love the flaws in these films too, and there's like, oh, they're all shit. we enjoy. When was there like an integrity to a? It's insane. I can't imagine. I can't think of it. Was I ever this bad?
No.
I can't imagine
They probably would go. If I had to guess what somebody would say is the best one other than the first one, they'd probably go Halloween H2O. I think that's the safe answer. Trust me. I'm telling you.
It's not that good.
It isn't. But as far as the shit before it and the shit after it, they probably go H2O. It's a safe answer.
And a lot of people are going to make their choice based on what they grew up with.
Oh, sure.
You and I, we grew up watching the original on cable, and the sequels are part of up to a point were part of our childhood or teenage years. Some of these people reviewing these films now, they grew up with these new films. Like they were too young to watch the old ones at the time. They probably saw them since, but these are like the first ones in the theater live.
And there is a whole group of people that really only know the Rob Zombie Halloween movies.
I mean, we were the only ones. We not only ones. All right, you and I were alive when the original came out. A lot of people that are talking about these films weren't, and I'm not saying that makes them wrong. I'm just saying there's different perspectives to this.
Yeah.
But seriously, this is the worst one over the Paul Rudd. This one.
Yeah. No.
Shut up.
No. Yes. Exactly.
And if you're going to bitch about Halloween films, don't even talk about 3, because that's the only reason you're going to bitch about it is because
Michael Myers isn't in it. That's the only reason why people complain. And you know what? If you go into that movie just as a movie, that is a good fucking movie.
Great film.
We reviewed it. Again, we reviewed it on
because it was.
Well,
but again,
we
flawed because it's a low budget horror film. But classic that we love. So, I mean, again, you cannot like it. It doesn't make it a bad film.
Oh, yeah.
You can like it, but it doesn't make it a good film. You got to think fucking objectively.
And I knew, after I watched Halloween 2018, and I loved that one, and then I watched the second one, and I loved that one too. But what really hammered it home for me, and we did talk about it when we reviewed it, is the scene in the park where they do an ode to Halloween 3 with the Halloween masks.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care what anyone says. They fucking get it. They get it. If they're doing an ode to Halloween 3, that means they like Halloween 3 too. Yeah. They're not one of these people that are like, oh, fuck Halloween 3. It's like, no, Halloween 3 is a great movie.
So a lot of these people are also saying, hey, this is 3 films that should have been 1. It's like, no, this isn't the second Lord of the Rings trilogy. And no, I'm not. I meant The Hobbit. Sorry, The Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
That was the second Lord of the Rings trilogy, technically, but I meant The Hobbit.
Yes.
But
yes, that should have been one movie. It's only a 300-page book. Moving on.
Right, but it's like, but no, it was written as 3 films, and there's like, oh, there's only one. It's a fucking trilogy. If you look at the first film, the entire first film is about running away from your fears, hiding from your fears. The second film is all about coming towards your fears, confronting your fears, attacking your fears. The third film is about letting go of the fear, of no longer being afraid, no longer letting fear control your life. There is a solid, visible story arc between the 3 films.
And
your problem isn't that it's poorly written. Your problem is that it's so well written that you're wanting the shit that you got in fucking 4 and 5, whatever that was.
Yeah, everything you just said is 100% true. And you can, by watching the 3 films, you can tell that it wasn't, okay, we have the first film done, and they kind of floated by what they might do in the second, and then they did the second. Okay, this is what we might do in the third, and then they did the third. All 3 films, all 3 storylines were absolutely thought of and planned from the get-go.
And everybody going into this, by the second, after the first film, when they decided to do the other 2, it was 100% known, broadcast. Everybody knows. It's a trilogy. You went into this third one knowing it's the end of the trilogy. The title was Halloween Ends, in the font from Halloween 3, by the way. Awesome.
And by the way, guaranteed, before they shot one scene, before one storyboard was actually drawn, I guarantee you, they always intended on Michael Myers dying at the end of the third film.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind. None.
No, that was the whole point.
Yeah.
And it was done with the cooperation of Wes Craven.
Oh, really?
I mean, I'm pretty sure, right?
Well, Wes Craven's dead, so...
I meant
you mean
Carpenter.
John Carpenter.
I meant John Carpenter. Fuck me, I'm sorry. Great. Now, that's it. This is just everybody tearing me apart now. That's it.
Ridley Scott all over again.
Oh, don't even fucking remind me of that shit. Swap one fucking name and everybody just comes down on you. Fuck all of you. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm pretty sure Carpenter was involved. With this. Well,
I mean, he gets a based on character credit.
I mean, I thought Danny McBride was like in a communication with Carpenter.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Are you looking it up?
I'm trying to. I'm just doing a quick.
So, what's interesting is I'm looking at
in 2000. I got a 2017 headline. John Carpenter is heavily involved in the Halloween sequel. That was the first one.
Oh, okay.
So Halloween Ends. John Carpenter reveals how he feels, and it doesn't say he. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, he was involved in these. He knew what they were doing. Danny McBride was a fan. He went back to the source. The thing's an homage to him. It's like, oh, the writers fucking knew what they were doing. They knew they were getting. It was my favorite thing is the coworker said it to me when I brought up that everybody hated it. He said, "Yeah, all I know is somebody, like a friend of mine said, they murdered the franchise." And I was like, and I saw all these things. They killed the franchise. They killed the franchise. I was like, yeah, they fucking killed the franchise. You understand what that means, right?
Yes.
I mean, I know they say it was such a bad film that killed the franchise. I was like, no, they purposely killed the franchise. That can't be an argument against the film. It just can't.
Yeah.
It's the purpose of the film. You can't complain about that.
So I'm noticing the music was, obviously it's Carpenter's music, but the other music in the film, I was like, this is very, as I'm watching, I'm going, this is very Carpenter-esque. But I knew Carpenter wasn't doing any new music. And apparently his son, Cody Carpenter, has done the music for all 3 movies.
Oh, yeah, I heard that somewhere. Yeah.
So anything past the, dun, 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 John Carpenter, Michael Myers music, anything past that was his son. And I was like, especially in this third film, I was like, I'm getting a lot of cool Carpenter vibes with this music. I like it, And then, obviously, it's because his son did all the music for it. I thought that was kind of neat that I looked that up and I found that out. So... yeah, so they're all full of shit. This is a really, really good Halloween movie.
But again, because I feel like all these reviews were so combative and so aggressive, and I just really couldn't understand getting that. I mean, and I've been angry watching films. I mean, I remember when I walked out of the theater, The Fifth Element, I was livid. I've calmed down a bit since then.
A little bit.
But it's like. I get it if you didn't like the film. I get it if you're disappointed. I mean, I don't know how, because it's like there's a whole progression. Oh, by the way, we got to bring this up before we wrap up.
Yeah.
The biggest complaint, so many, and when I looked it up, there's already articles written about this. So I'm not the first person to jump on this by a long shot. But all these reviews, a lot of them kept saying, "Oh, there's so little of Michael Myers in the film. Like, he's barely in the film. He's barely in the film." And as I'm reading this, I'm thinking it wasn't that much in the original film.
Very little.
So I just Googled, how long is Michael Myers in Halloween? Bam, already articles. Somebody actually, like, all these people were complaining, so somebody went back and stopwatched it. Michael, and I'm rounding down from seconds because I don't remember the seconds. The original Halloween, Michael Myers is on screen.
Well, hold on. What I was going to say, what's the runtime of that movie? Not like it matters, because it's at least 90 minutes.
They're roughly the same. Doesn't matter. It's not that big of a difference. But so the original film, 1978, he's on screen for 9 minutes and some odd seconds.
9 minutes.
Right.
And the bulk of that time is the kills. And the bulk of
that time is the bulk of that time is like stalking and silence and jump scares and shit. And boring storylines.
Well, I'm talking about to get to that 9 minutes, like, the scene in the kitchen where he stabs the person. That's probably a 2-3 minute scene right there.
Right. So 9 minutes of 9 minutes and change of screen time. How much screen time did he get in Halloween Ends? Take a guess.
20 minutes, half hour.
In Halloween Ends?
The last one.
No, the one we just watched.
Halloween Ends, the last film.
Right.
20 minutes, half an hour?
10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes? Oh, okay.
He's on screen for 10 minutes in Halloween Ends. He's actually on screen for 1 minute more than the original in Halloween Ends. Shut the fuck up.
Well, I'm sure you didn't look it up. I'm curious to see what his screen time was in the first and second Halloween movie, Halloween Kills.
No. We're just comparing the original and this. That's it.
Okay, all right.
Every fucking film.
Well, listen, I'm just. Well, hold on. I'm just saying, like, if in Halloween he's on screen for like 12 minutes, and then Halloween Kills he's on screen for 13 minutes. It's like, listen, you're splitting hairs over like 3-4 minutes, because apparently you loved Halloween and Halloween Kills, and he's on screen for like 12 minutes. I'm just saying, if we knew.
I'll honestly, if you go through them,
if he's on, let's say he's on screen in Halloween, the 2018 Halloween, for like a half an hour, and he's on screen in Halloween Kills for about the same amount of time. Not that I'm saying that they're right, but I'm saying I wouldn't fault them too much for complaining, because they got so much more Michael Myers. But that would be if this movie wasn't good, and this movie is good.
No, I would put money on there being a ratio where the longer you get to see Michael Myers in a film, the worse it is. I guarantee.
I don't doubt. You know what?
That Paul Rudd one, it's probably like half an hour.
Probably.
If you're gonna do that now, we're gonna be another 15 minutes. So it's up to you.
I'm not gonna. I'm just seeing if it even comes up.
This is the we're Googling shit portion of the show.
Well, it's funny because I typed the year that Halloween 2018, and it goes right to the article about his screen time as 10 minutes and 55 seconds.
Is what?
It goes to the new movie, Halloween Ends.
Yeah. I already gave those numbers.
No, I know. But I specifically looked for the 2018 movie, but whatever. When did Halloween Kills come out?
I don't know. So it looks like people have compared it to the original, but no one's like gone through the hassle of doing it for each film, because who the fuck cares? It's not even part. It's not even part of it. But I just wonder why we do what we do. I mean, like, it's not for a living. That's not what this shit is.
No.
But I mean, but like it's like we're giving our views of these films and coming. I just, do we sound as bad as these people? I just
No.
I guess worried.
No, I really
sometimes.
don't. I don't think so. I mean, when we have like the vitriol that these people have, it's you. It's usually reserved for films that are really, really bad, and this is not that.
And I've been mellowing in my old age, and I'm glad. I can't. I'm tired of being angry all the time. It's not fun. There's no joy in it. Jesus.
All right.
I think this was a good film. I think you should give it a shot. If you like the first and second film, you know what it's rated on IMDb right now?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a paltry 5.
5. What the fuck?
Yeah, no.
Really?
I mean, even if it was a 6, I'd be like, that's still wrong because I'm going 7 on this.
He blowtorched a kid's face.
That was awesome. Mayor did one of these like, oh my god.
I can't remember the other time I yelled out so loud that that Holly yelled at me. I can't think of it. It wasn't when the kid fell. It was like later, but there was one kill.
Was it the DJ?
I was like, oh! Not because I was that shocked, because you just get into it. It's like when you're in a crowded horror film in a theater,
yeah,
and something happens, everybody goes, ah! It's like, they're not all that scared, but you're enjoying it. You're part of it. It's like yelling on a roller coaster. And man, I can't remember the fucking I should have taken notes. Damn. But what do you think? I mean, I can't.
Oh, solid 7. Solid 7.
I agree. There's too much. Oh, the one other thing I wanted to mention too.
Yeah.
Is real briefly, because we did mention the fact that he only kills like his people that wronged him and stuff. But I found it interesting that unlike the first two films which played it kind of level and which showed you a lot of innocent victims, this third one. I don't know if I don't like it, but I'm not sure if I'm missing a point. But all the people that they kill, they purposely go out of their way to make you hate every single, including the kid.
Yeah.
Even the kid, when he fell, first all I hear is Holly. Good.
Oh my god.
That shouldn't be your response. But I nodded. This is not like I'm faulting her, but I mean, every single one. They just make the most horrible fucking people that you want them to die. Even the homeless guy has to like freak out and it's like try to fuck with the kid.
I am Michael Myers.
there are no actual innocents really die in this film. All right, the kid, yes, but still he was a dick. And it was his own fault.
Well, you locked him in the attic.
And he shouldn't have been standing there. Bullshit. That's why he wasn't in jail. It was the kid's fault and everybody knew it, including that fucking mother.
The father knew it.
Yeah. Yeah, someone also pointed out that that the only people who wronged him, quote unquote, that he didn't kill were the parents of the kid he killed. But I thought about that. I was like, yeah, but even though the mother like freaked out at him, they didn't wrong him. Like that's like deserved. That's why he backs away. It's like
because he's going through that guilt, and it's always going to live with him.
There's no response. I actually killed your kid. So I mean, I don't think that's I don't think that's an omission that's not thought out. But I just find it interesting that like the first and the second film especially, all the victims were sympathetic. They even wheeled out the black woman. She survived the.
Oh yeah, that was from the first movie. And that was I think that was his first kill. Was her husband? I want to say it was the first kill in the first movie.
What the fuck is it with people surviving neck wounds in the Halloween films? You got that chick. You got Corey at the end. You got
I understood Corey because he had that supernatural power that Michael Myers had. So when he did that, I was like, I leaned over to Mare. Like, even after Michael Myers snapped his neck, I'm like, he might not be dead.
No, he's dead.
Well. Yes, because when they had the long shot of them coming in through the front door, and he's still there, I'm like, oh yeah, he's not going anywhere. I was like, Mary, don't expect anything more out of Corey.
All I'm saying is, if you're in the Halloween universe and you get stabbed in the neck, you got a shot.
You got a shot.
That's all.
So
I'm
you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah. So for me, that was a flaw to the film. But then again, it's such a contrast to the second. I don't think it was lazy screenwriting. I feel like they did it on purpose. And I think part of it, too, was like because you have Corey and the granddaughters. They're both dealing with this anger. And this guilt, the survivor's guilt and remorse and alienation and all this stuff. And it shows how two different people deal with it. Because the whole idea with Michael is like, well, what turns a kid evil? Is it inherent or whatever? And that's what this movie's kind of going into for everybody who's confused why they're talking about these kids so much. And it's all about how they handle it and where they retreat to. And Corey retreats to the dark side.
Very much so. Yes, he does.
Yeah. Yeah, again, another tangent that I didn't mean to do, but it really just underlines the point that this is not a bad film.
No.
It doesn't mean you have to like it, but no. Paul Rudd.
All right, so we're giving this one a 7. Solid 7. Anyone that disagrees, you're wrong. You're what I like to call wrong.
No conflict.
Oh, okay. You're entitled to your opinion?
No, you have to defend your opinion. But again,
I knew you'd go in that direction because we've had that discussion.
I know you're baiting me. But there's like my opinion and my what's the other fucking word I was just going to use? There's an opinion about a film if I'm like trying to like analyze it. But then my reception of the film, how I feel about it, that's all me. The problem is people confuse the two. And I hated this film. I didn't like this film, so it's a bad movie. No.
Listen, I always go back to John Dimes and his book. There are no bad movies, only bad audiences.
And I mostly agree with him.
I remember when we had him on the show, we were like, what are you talking about? And then by the end of that episode, I'm like, I get what you're saying.
Well, we weren't looking for a fight, so.
No, of course not. Well, I love John. We haven't talked to him forever. We should get him back on the show.
He's still around. I see him on Facebook.
So.
Yeah, but just people relax. If you're gonna flip out about a film, wait till the Avatar sequel comes out. There's shit coming down the pike.
Oh my god! It was funny, and I know we're ending, but my oldest son, he's like, "Can we go see the new Avatar film?" I was like, "Do you really want to?" He goes, "Kinda, I don't know." I was like, "Did you watch the first film?" He goes, "Yeah, I watched it." I go, "What'd you think?" He goes, I was like, "Well, why do you want to see the sequel?" He goes, "I don't know." But it's that fascination that James Cameron apparently fucking has. Everybody knows that first movie, that first Avatar film, is not a good movie. Yes, visually it's impressive. It's entertaining enough to sit through and watch it. But everybody knows this. Anyone that thinks otherwise just doesn't understand. But apparently everyone's going to go see the second one anyway. It's like, oh, maybe this one he'll get it right. I don't know. So he asked me if I wanted to go see it, and I was like, I kind of don't. And he's like, well, can we go? Can you and I go? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to deny my father-son bonding time. Because we'll go see the movie, then we'll probably go get lunch, like something cool, And I'm okay with that. So, I might give James Cameron money. I'll bring it to the show, obviously.
Bastard.
Hey, what are you going to do?
Well, great. Now I have to watch it. Okay.
If I actually end up going to see it, I'll let you know.
All right.
We saw it opening weekend, you and I, and then we went back to my house and reviewed it. Still one of my favorite episodes because we got the toys at like Burger King or McDonald's before we did the review. And then I remember...
Still got them.
You still got them?
They're up there, yeah.
And then I remember at one point I had both toys and I was having them hump each other.
So unprofessional.
And then you just lean over. This is in the episode. It goes, "Are you done yet?" And I think I said something like, "I'll never grow up," or something childish and infantile. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I was like, "No, never," or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I just remember doing that, and you just going, Are you done? That's like episode 6. We're talking like that's like forever ago.
That was like the first or second one we videotaped too.
Yeah. No, it's episode 6. Obviously, I think it hit in December because that's when the movie came out.
How fucking old am I?
I wasn't going to say anything.
Videotaped.
Even then, we weren't videotaping, so I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
I'm done. I'm done. So this was Halloween Ends, and next episode we're going to be reviewing Jeepers Creepers 3 and 4, either individual episodes or one episode, depending on how
we can probably. Well, it depends. But we are committed to doing those, even though it won't be Halloween. We're still going to do them. And then after that, we'll figure out where the format goes as far as movies, not the format. I shouldn't say the format. Like what movies we're going to do moving on. Because I know we promised a movie review. I have to go look back a few episodes ago before we went on hiatus. We did say we were going to review something. And I have to go back and see what that is so we can actually do it.
Mm-hmm. So. And maybe format changes too. Maybe this little bit of structure. I don't know.
I don't know.
I've been playing with it. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I don't know.
All right, let's go ahead and end the show.
Yep.
All right, everybody. As always, thank you for joining us for another episode of Moviesucktastic, where you got to hang out with us live on a Thursday night because you had nothing better to do. All right. You can go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com. And you can listen or download the show. You can go to iTunes and do the same thing. Your choice. You can go to Facebook.com/Moviesucktastic and you can see what we post, trailers, movie news, when we go live, anything that we love. We post over there a lot. You can give us a ring. You can leave us voicemail at 908-514-4470. Or you can email us. The address is themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com. You can also go and find us on Amazon now and Audible. We're on there now as well.
Oh yeah, I've been listening to it on Audible. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're on there, baby.
And Amazon Music, yeah.
Yeah, we're there. Oh, you know what's funny? I bet I can ask my Amazon Echo. Hey, Echo, play Moviesucktastic episode 112, and it'll do it. I have to try that now. I bet it'll do it.
I thought you were doing it right now. Okay.
No, it's in the other room. You could also do a search for us on your favorite search engine. Just do a search for Moviesucktastic. All that shit comes up. And do you have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
I'm really disconcerted and demoralized. I went to the very excited theater for the grand finale of one of my favorite sagas, and especially after two films like Halloween 2.
All right, everybody, we will talk to you next week. Where we review Jeepers Creepers 3 and Jeepers Creepers Reborn from the director of Iron Sky and Iron Sky 2. That guy. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.